fuck it. No cold open. That's
No
it.
cold
We're
open.
done.
The cold open is just me sipping coffee really loudly into the microphone.
Okay, that's fine. I can just zone in on that real quick. Do you want to give us a good clean take?
Yeah, I got this.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Yes!
You did it so well.
I'm an actor.
Perfect. You're an actor, and you know what this is, Layne?
What?
This is Afterbite, a Vampire Diaries fan cast. It's only 10 years too late. Hi.
Fuck.
I know.
Wait, am I allowed to curse?
Yeah,
Yes.
we curse all the time.
We do say
good.
fuck really regularly.
Because I'm not that good of an actor.
The coffee is pretty much the limit, you know?
Right. Got it.
So we have a very special episode today. And also, just it's a special time, folks. You know why it's a special time?
Why is it B?
Because it's the fucking end of season 1, and holy shit, I'm relieved that we are...
It's been
We're
a while.
almost there.
It's been a while.
Jordan.
Are we really almost there, B?
No.
Are we really almost there? We've just... It's like this is a cake, right? And it's like a huge cake. And we're like one of those people who are watching our weight. So we took like this tiniest sliver out of the cake to eat.
And then there's so much of this fucking cake left. And by so much of this cake left, I mean 7 more seasons of the Vampire Diaries, 5 seasons of the originals, and then 3+ maybe of Legacies. So
this is a commitment. This is a commitment we made.
We've made it to the light at the end of the tunnel, except it just psyched us out. There's a curve now. U-turn, motherfuckers. So welcome to Afterbite. We have a very special guest on here. Hi, Layne Morgan.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm alive.
Okay, very valid. All right, love it. In case you guys don't know who Layne is, she has credits on The 100, The Shannara Chronicles, Badlands, and Daybreak, all of which are shows that I like.
Yeah.
Daybreak I haven't seen. I'm just taking a shot in the dark there.
Well,
I assumed that I would like it.
You probably would.
I've seen The 100 and The Shannara Chronicles, and I love both of those shows.
Amazing.
The Shannara Chronicles was the first gay show that I conned my dad into watching, fun fact.
Oh, how nice.
I was like, Dad, you like Lord of the Rings, right? Here's some high fantasy shit. And he's like, all right, cool. And then he looked over at me every time Eritrea and whoever Poppy Drayton's character interacted. And he was like, are they? And I'm like, I don't think so.
Are they?
And he was like, okay. He was very confused, but he tried his best. So
but when the straight men pick up on it, that's when you know.
Yeah, when my dad, who runs a hardware store, is like, are they? They might be.
Well, I mean, running a hardware store tells you nothing about someone's gaydar, because plenty of lesbians run hardware stores, and I'm sure they're doing just fine.
That's true. That's very true.
For all you know, it's running the hardware store that makes it easier for him to spot a lesbian.
Honestly, you might be right.
I am right. I'm always right.
Because he did buy me one of my first flannels from his hardware store. He's like, this looks like something you'd like. And I'm like, thanks, Dad. I'm 12. Bye. And I didn't talk to him. And I didn't talk to him for 4 more years.
That's called I know a dyke when I see a dyke behavior.
So we're gonna break down these last 2 episodes of the Vampire Diaries season 1, and I'm just gonna put a warning on the top here, just right before we get started, because there is some extremely questionable content in episode 21. Like, extremely. So we're gonna kind of skate over that and go to, wow, Isabel could step on all of our throats.
Yeah. Here's my opinion on Isabel. She could step on my throat, and like I'd be okay with that, but also I really don't like her.
Also very valid.
It's a weird relationship where I'm like, oh, you're very hot, but also you're kind of the worst.
kind of the worst is a great way to describe her. I'm going to read the episode description super quick here because it doesn't sound grammatically correct to me, but I'm also... It's Netflix. So the episode description for Netflix, for episode 21, which is just entitled Isabel, is... Isabel returns to town and stuns Alaric with her attitudes and her demands that he arrange a meeting with Elena.
Yeah, that's not correct.
There's too many hers and he's in that sentence.
No, it's not even that.
It's the demands should I just have one no S.
Yeah.
In her demand. You're also correct.
I'm a script coordinator.
God, I just don't like that sentence.
It's a bad sentence.
Listen, fanfiction has taught me to read sentences with all the pronouns and just keep on going. However, life has taught me that demands should only have
one.
No S. No S.
No S. Not even one. Just no.
Not even one S. Just no S's. It's just one singular demand.
One demand that he arrange a meeting with Elena. And okay. So this episode starts with Isabel just like hopping up on the bar next to Alaric. And the first thing she like goes for isn't even like a... Ooh.
Should we explain the significance of Isabel in case Layne doesn't know because she's not caught up?
Oh, yeah.
Well, she's Elena's mom, right?
Okay, yeah, you're good then. And also,
the good news is
wife.
Netflix has a little previously on.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Okay,
yeah. Right, correct.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I
skip all of
television in 2004. I know what I'm doing.
I skip all of those on Netflix.
Really? I think I let them play through. It allows me to get set up before I start writing notes.
Listen, I don't take my note writing that seriously.
I didn't take notes, so...
That's fine. You're so valid. So, Elaine... fucking Jesus Christ. Now you've got me fucked up, Jordan.
I'm sorry.
Isabel, just, like, goes up to Alaric and she's like, hey, how's your job going, by the way? That's how she starts. No, like, hey, what's up? How's the weather? She's like, how's your job? Hey, Isabel, he's a public school teacher. It's probably not going well. At any given point in time, it's not going well.
I love, like, just after that, where she, like, threatens all of his history students in, like, a very specific threat. It's just, like, I don't know why it fucking sent me. She was like, I'm gonna kill everyone in this town. And I'm going to start with the 20 teenagers you know. I was like, he doesn't care. He should be like, all right, have at it.
Also, objectively, he has other history classes. He probably teaches multiple grade levels. Like, there's like 100 students that he probably teaches on any given day. I would like... thin the herd, Isabel. Go for it, darling. Just go for it.
I'm gonna start with your fucking asshole.
Honestly, he'd probably be very grateful because the way that teenagers treat their teachers is kind of like, oh, like actually, yeah, can you get rid of like these specific people first before you start killing the rest of them?
Hey, can you start with Jared from third period? He's kind of
my brother's a biology teacher. I'm gonna call him and be like, hey, just curious, if someone threatened
your students, do you have a list or like a certain period that you want them to start first? Because I think you should if you don't.
Yeah, he won't. He's so much better than me. He'll just be like, no, I love all the children.
Here's the thing with teachers. You have to be like a good person to be a teacher in order to deal with that type of shit.
I never considered him a good person until he became a teacher, and now he's like, for the children. I'm like, whatever.
That's like whatever. That's like a certain type of sacrifice that I'm not willing to make.
Yeah, I don't need a soul. I'm doing fine. So is Isabel.
Apparently. This fucking episode is buck wild because we start with that fucking threat at the bar, and then we go to like arts and crafts in high school. And I just want to know, when do these kids actually go to school and learn things that aren't about Mystic Falls? Because if you remember, last episode, Alaric was like, I guess we're learning about local history instead of World War II. So are we continuing the trend? Where is this time coming from?
This furthers my thought that this is why some white people don't know the significance of slavery.
Literally. It's because they're from towns in Virginia.
I just want to know if anyone ever in their real high school has spent as much time on like float building and party decorating as the amount of time that students on CW shows spend on that. Like, I've never seen a float budget that is as unreal.
I've never even seen a float in one of my
fucking. I mean, maybe the band played on a float. I don't know. I didn't go, but like I was a jock. I played sports, and I'm like, I've never seen this before.
Here's the thing, too. It's the band didn't play on a float. The band probably marched. So what the fuck? Like, there's like a float. With
I don't know why I put the band on a float.
Yeah, they're the one group of people equipped to walk. Like Layne.
Okay. Well, because I could just picture them at our football games, like in the stadium. So in my brain, they're stationary. Goes to show you how many fucking parades we have. Christ.
No, but like, also, fucking, if your town is this poor / rich as Mystic Falls, I guess you can just like do that.
Yeah.
I guess. My town did have a pageant, though. We did have a pageant.
Oh my god. Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Was it as archaic as the Miss Mystic Falls pageant?
No, it was always like, I'm going to offend somebody. I hope no one from my hometown is listening to this. It was always like 2 cheerleaders who like weren't super hot, and then like 2 girls from the theater department who like really wanted to be like important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then like someone from student government, and then like 3 girls you'd never met. And you were like, and it was all people that you were like, I'm not super sure. I sound like a high school mean girl. I'm really not at all. But it was always people that like objectively, I was like, no one knows who you are. Like, what is happening? Because like the people who were like really popular were way too cool for that.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to hear some extremely Iowa bullshit?
Yes.
Yeah. I also want a t-shirt that says extremely Iowa bullshit. I just want you to wear it.
We didn't have like any sort of pageant that was like Miss Mystic Falls, but we did have Fair Queen.
Oh, God bless.
So, listen, when you come from Spencer, Iowa, the town with the world's largest county fair, shit gets real at the Fair Queen pageant. And let me tell you,
Fair Queen sounds like a medieval Midsommar.
Okay, valid.
Like,
consider this, we were just yeehaws.
I really just want like high fantasy fairy Midsommar, like Midsommar except supernatural. Okay, where's that episode of Legacies?
There's so many episodes of Legacies where you're like, where's that one?
Where's the Florence Pugh guest stars and we all have a ritual in a garden and someone dies in a bear suit episode? It's like, it's basically the Christmas episode. I'm sorry, I'm so off topic.
No, you know what? That's valid. When are we ever on topic?
Exactly. We're never on topic. We're always going on tangents. That's the main point of this podcast.
Well, thank God.
We're so barely talking about the Vampire Diaries most of the time.
Is the Vampire Diaries ever talking about the Vampire
Honestly, no. You're not. No, they're not.
The Vampire Diaries is like the LaCroix of the Vampire Diaries. It like drove by a truck of its own lore. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Never be sorry, Layne. Oh, I don't remember what the fuck goes on, because all of my notes are just like, Bonnie's bangs don't look great in this episode, and I wish they looked better.
I remember in the beginning, Caroline was mad that Bonnie and Elena were in a fight.
Honestly?
Oh, yeah. That did happen. That's, because I think it was that Bonnie and Elena are in a fight, and then Bonnie is like, I can't tell you what's going on. And I think it's really interesting how the show is like divided into 2 groups of people who know completely nothing about what is going on around them. And then everyone else is like, I'm super in the know. I know exactly what's going on.
I'm behind, but do they ever explain why Caroline just simply can't know?
No.
They're just trying to protect her. Like, I don't know why they wouldn't just tell her.
Because she was in the same episode that the girls were getting, like, possessed and did, like, a seance.
Yeah.
And, like, Bonnie got straight up possessed by her ancestors. So she knows magic exists.
No, but does she really know that magic exists? Like if she's already, because in that episode she was a skeptic, right? So like she, if she's already skeptical of that, and it's just like, oh, I just had this one-off experience, but like I don't know, there could be like some scientific explanation behind all of this happening.
But she was the one who was like, Bonnie was like, hey Emily, what's up, ancestor? And Caroline was like, that's fucking weak. You can do better.
Hold on.
They all got possessed.
Hold on. Hey Emily, what's up, ancestor?
She was literally just like, hey, ancestors? And Caroline was like, that's fucking weak. Do better. And then they all got possessed. So I do want to state that she was there for the magic. So she kind of knows.
But not really. Not explicitly. More like implicit knowledge of magic.
I just hate when shows do the like, we just can't tell you thing for like ever. And it's like, but why not?
Yeah.
Because at some point, like, it's not like you're protecting her. I feel like knowing would probably make her safer.
And honestly, that's the truth, because no one ever protects Caroline on this show for some reason.
Well,
everyone just
that's
like
beef for every other episode.
Everyone just like, hey, I know Caroline's going through this thing, but we've decided to do this thing without any of her consent, and that's going to be okay, because I guess somehow we're in charge of what Caroline is in charge, what Caroline can know. And you're just like, can y'all help Caroline out? Like, she's going through a lot. And they're like, oh, yeah. no, we're also going through our own thing, but we'll like keep her in mind.
Like, we'll keep her in our thoughts and prayers, but we all know that's bullshit, so like, whatever. It's Virginia.
Yep.
We're a small town that's surprisingly large and also very affluent. I feel like we need to hone this in again, because this is like the 5th episode in a row of Founders Day bullshit.
And you're like, okay, I get it. You're rich white people. You don't care about anything anyone else except yourself, but also this is so boring.
We get it. You're from Virginia. We get it. God, no, Caroline has to know, because also on that same vein, Jeremy read Elena's diary and found out that his memories got erased by Damon, which in the end leads to some shit, and it's like, y'all could have really just like had an open and honest conversation. Been like, hey Jer, vampires exist, your ex-girlfriend or your kind of girlfriend was one of them. She's dead now, but she also got reanimated, but she's also dead again. Sorry. I feel like they just needed to like, goddamn, Jeremy goes through it, man.
Yeah. One thing I want to bring up is that there's another, I can't say the word for some reason, Bing sponsorship in this episode. Like, and I just know that Bing paid so much money to be in this television show, and it just did not work out for them. Like, they were just because I just remember in like the early 2010s, Bing just like trying to compete with Google and like trying to be like, so hard. We're as good as Google. Like, and like I remember so many commercials of Bing just trying to infiltrate our minds so that we would just go on their platform, and it just didn't work out for them. And I just want to say, Bing, that kind of sucks. Like, you're just memorialized in this TV show, but no one really thinks that somebody would choose Bing over Google. So it just shows how dated this show is.
I just miss the days of like really, really solid product placement.
Yeah. Honestly, like, yeah, TVD has a bunch. It's so
early
good.
Pretty Little Liars, where they were like, you just won a Toyota Corolla. Okay, she's 16, my guy.
Caroline's like, I'm using my new AT&T phone that connects to my car. Like, okay, we get it.
I love that shit.
Let's see. Let's get back on track here. Damon goes to meet Isabel.
Yeah.
And we come in hot and heavy with some extremely questionable content about a gay cowboy. Yeah. And that's about all we're gonna say on that. We're not
gonna talk about
What's wild is I don't know what you guys are talking about, and I watched this episode.
Bro! She has a dude that looks exactly like Rocky from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And Damon's like, who's that? And she's like, it's a gay cowboy that I picked up in Dallas. And he's like, okay, so he's gay? She's like, not right now. I'm like, bro!
Oh.
Yeah, my exact thoughts.
Yeah,
it is extremely questionable content.
And that's why
Hope Michelson's not gay right now either. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
None of them are gay right now. Let's be very honest.
It's fine. I'm putting it away.
I'm putting my pain in a little box. And that's fine.
And then I'm sailing it across the coast.
I'm setting it afloat, and it's just gone.
And then okay, there's this like whole entire scene with Damon and Isabel where it's like very
It's
sexual,
so bad.
and I'm just
I
like,
hate it.
I'm just like,
It's so
wait, I'm like, wait, so you're telling me this man is like doing all of this with Elena's mother, and in the future they're supposed to go out and date, and I'm just supposed to be comfortable with that?
I'm just consistently floored with, and I told you the first 6 episodes of season 1 today. Consistently floored, and like I'm always like, maybe it's because I'm a lesbian, but it's not, because I frequently think men are attractive on television.
Yeah.
I'm always floored by the fact that we try to pass Ian Somerhalder off as sexy.
Yeah.
I'm always just like, I don't get it!
Same.
He's got like a weird half CW mullet, and he's always like kind of like spidering around, and I love a scrawny man, but there's something about him that I'm always just like, are you okay? I don't know.
Yeah, and then
every time he does sexy, I'm like, I don't buy this at all.
Also, like, his smirk is the worst. Like
it's
stop
weird.
that shit. Just stop it. Like, there's a good way to do it, and you're not doing it. Stop it.
Paul Wesley, I get.
Yeah,
Paul Wesley, I get.
Yeah. Ian, what?
Yeah.
I don't.
What's your face doing this episode, buddy?
There's so many questionable faces on his face, and I'm just like, stop doing that. So
many questionable faces. My brain just immediately imagined him with like several stickers of his own face on his face.
That's what it looks like. It looks like wearing a mask of his own face.
There's this one scene where he's like in the background, and the way his face is moving, like he doesn't have any lines, but like his eyes.
Somerhalder is the LaCroix of hot men.
He drove by a truck of hot men, and now he's like this now. That's it. He drove by a lot of tall, dark, and handsomes, and now he's here.
I'll stop making that joke now, I promise.
No, wait. Just wait until the perfect time in like an hour or so and do it again. Rule of threes, you'll be hilarious.
Yeah.
All right.
But there's like the scene where he's in the background and his eyes are just like very open, and it looks like he's like I don't know what his emotion is supposed to be, but it's just very off, and I'm just like, why is this happening?
His emotion is on cocaine. That's his emotion. He's just extremely into it right now.
Oh God, Jesus Christ. My emotion is also on cocaine.
Me. Honestly, mood. I just mainlined a Mountain Dew Kickstarter. Let's fucking go. Elena meets her mom.
Yeah.
Finally. It's weird.
Oh, there's this part right before she meets her mom where or is it when during? I think they just explain how like vampires can turn off their humanity. Right?
I think that was kind of in this one. She's like, it's just like flicking a switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Damon talks about it while she's in it. Okay, we'll get to that 1 second.
Okay.
Stefan and Elena have a really kind of cute half-silent conversation across the room where Elena's just whispering and Stefan's just like mouthing words back. And I don't want to say that they're cute, Your Honor, but that shit was kind of fucking cute.
Listen, at least in season 1, they were just like 2 dumb idiots.
Yeah.
They're just 2
like
dumb idiots.
They had not sinned yet.
Yeah.
Well. Stefan's sin's yet to be decided. Elena's fine for now. You're on thin ice, but that's okay.
Stefan is like questionable at best.
But at least he has good hair.
Yeah.
And his face does normal human things.
Yeah.
As opposed to lizard person things. It feels like it's Ian like wearing a like human face mask.
Yes. Accurate description. That's exactly what I think of when I think of Ian Somerhalder.
That's 100% correct.
So while Elena's in there talking with Isabel, Elena's asking like 7 million questions and not getting any answers. Mm-hmm. And in that moment, I was like, God fucking damn it, Elena. This is a more frustrating conversation than the one that we pointed out that John, Damon, and Rick had last episode. It was the most frustrating conversation I've ever had the displeasure of watching.
Yeah, it's like no answers, nothing. It's like when you like are talking to someone and they're like, yeah, but they're not actually listening to you. You know, it's like one of those conversations.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I know you're my mom. Who's my dad? Uh-huh. Thanks, Isabel. Great insight. Anyway, outside, Damon and Alaric are having a great conversation, excuse me, about humanity.
Yeah.
This is the first time, I think, in the show that we're kind of introduced to the concept of, like, the light switch that is humanity. Mm-hmm. Damon describes it as just, like, flicking off a switch, and that's it. And then you're done. That's it.
And he says one of my favorite lines when just talking about Stefan, and I think we need to just revel in this moment of him saying about Stefan, he wants to feel every episode of How I Met Your Mother.
Why is that the show they picked?
That's a weird line.
Why is that the show they picked? It's
not a high-key romantic, like...
It's not an emotional show. It's a comedy.
No. It's a comedy. And not only does it not make any sense, but it's also just like the fact that it's like talking about, I feel like How I Met Your Mother, at least from when I was watching, it wasn't very like emotional, but it was like about emotions, if that makes sense.
It was the LaCroix of emotional shows.
Yes, exactly.
It drove past an emotional show at one point, and now it's like, oh, we're sad.
Yeah. so I get it, right? But also, that's like the worst reference you could have ever made up. Like, why choose that show in particular? Are you guys trying to do another sponsorship for another show?
Like, also, why does Damon... Is that what Damon thinks emotions are?
Hey, likely. Yeah,
I mean, that might be part of the problem.
Yeah.
Damon had to watch How I Met Your Mother and then think, oh, this is what Stefan wants to feel like.
Yeah.
Hey, what? I don't have siblings. Here's the thing. I don't have siblings. I don't know what goes through your brain when you're like, oh, this is what my sibling did in X moment. But, like, Layne, have you ever watched an episode of How I Met Your Mother and been like, oh, this is my brother?
I mean, I've never watched an episode of How I Met Your Mother, so...
Oh, wow, you've escaped unscathed.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
I stay so far away from sitcoms, so...
Unfortunately, sitcoms are what brought me up in this world. It's what I mainly watch.
And they're what's gonna bring you down. They will both give you into this world and then take you the fuck out.
Yeah. Like growing up, you know, you're watching stuff and you're like, there's nothing on TV, but I still want to watch TV. So then you watch a sitcom for like an hour or two, and then you're like, okay, I guess I'm done with that now.
We were never allowed to watch television. I watched like Disney Channel when I was a kid, and then it went like straight to being old enough to like watch WB, and like that was all I did.
I had no supervision as a child. I could literally watch whatever I wanted.
Like my family does not even have a TV in our living room.
Yeah, no, we have TV. We have a TV in the living room and also in the bedroom. And also, my grandmother would love to watch criminal TV shows like CSI, Criminal Minds, all the like, and I would frequently watch them with her at 12 years old. So,
oh my god.
So, I think that tells you how much TV I watched as a kid and how unsupervised I was.
Yes.
I was unsupervised, but I didn't have cable, so I watched a lot of Seinfeld because that's what my mom wanted to watch. And now, if I hear the opening bass riff to Seinfeld, I will combust. I will just die. I will throw myself off my third floor balcony. It's fine. It's perfect. Wait.
Waiting.
Sorry, I just read my notes and I read the line. I read the line, Damon fucks Elena's mom and her great-grandmother and her. I don't know what kind of trifecta he's going for, and I think it broke my brain for a moment.
Yeah, so in my notes it literally says, which I was mentioning before, so you're telling me later on Damon dates and marries her daughter? What?
God, what kind of trifecta is he going for?
It's like...
I know some people have, like, a type, but this is taking your type too far. This is taking your very specific type and making it too specific.
It's just really weird. It's like, why? Why?
Just why? Let's see. What else is going on here?
We got Bonnie being too good of a friend to Elena once again.
But is she too good of a friend?
Actually, you're right, because then she doesn't actually... See, here's the thing. I was like, oh, Bonnie's being way too good of a friend. She's, like, doing this thing for Elena that she really doesn't want to do, but it's for Elena, and then she doesn't actually do it. So, in actuality, Bonnie's just the right amount of a good friend. But also...
just the right amount.
Actually, no, because then she does something later on where it's like, Bonnie, you should have just let them die.
Okay, let us explain. Okay, so apparently the inventions that Jonathan Gilbert made were not actually... They're not... Yeah, they weren't actually good. They were magic. So Jonathan Gilbert got credit for Emily Bennett's spell work, which, I mean... What a scorching critique of modern culture and white men in general. Oh,
I have a strange feeling that's not what they were trying to do.
Yeah. Oh, it's absolutely not. But damn, let's read into this.
I think half of this podcast is us taking things that they most definitely did not intentionally mean and bringing intention into it.
Absolutely. Valid. We did a whole bit last episode about how Elena sees Stefan as like a Christ-like figure. I mean, come on. I have a film degree and I'm gonna fucking use it.
I'm so glad you guys did that last week instead of this week. Because as we all know, there's nothing I love more than talking about women worshiping Christ.
Oh, God.
We all know. Great topic.
I have several Fall Out Boy songs dedicated to it.
Okay, but you're so fucking right.
I know. I told you I'm always right.
God, I fucking love Fall Out Boy. Okay, so let's go to this maybe my favorite scene in these two episodes. Stefan, Damon, Elena, and Bonnie are all in the Salvatore's like foyer, I guess. They're rich. Foyer probably. And Bonnie's like, I can dispel this thing so that it doesn't actually work, so that it can just be like, what the fuck ever, and then you'll be good, because then they can get what they want, and then, oh darn, it just didn't work. So, Damon's like, I don't think you can actually do that. I don't think you're good enough at magic for this, which is apparently something that Damon knows, because he's very good at magic.
Like, shut up, Damon. Like, be quiet.
I mean, in the pilot, he made fog and ravens just out of, like...
So he obviously has a squad. He has a witch on hand to just be like, hey, I want to make a really dramatic entrance. Could I get that fog machine going?
Yeah, like he literally comes in and he's like, I mean, you should see what I can do with the fog and the ravens. And I was like, what can you do, Damon?
So Bonnie's like, I'm going to prove you wrong. And she asks Damon the hardest question he's ever been asked. Name a book. A single book. For $500, Damon, welcome to Jeopardy. Name a book. Any single one.
How I Met Your Mother.
Wrong. He says, what is it, like the fucking Call of the Wild by Jack London or some bullshit?
Oh, kill me.
Some fucking white man English class bullshit. And so to prove that her magic is the best it can be, she's like, allow me, and stands in front of a bookshelf and makes the book come out of the bookshelf and fly into Damon's hand.
And that's what convinces him?
That's it! That's all she does. She's like, hey, I'm gonna make some real, like, haunted house shit happen, and then you're gonna believe me. And they do!
They're so stupid.
Hey! What?
They're so dumb! It's like if you had the Scooby-Doo gang, right? But it's all just full of idiots who
full attention.
But it's just all full of like idiots who don't actually know what they're doing, and then they don't catch the bad guy in the end.
It's the Scooby Gang, except it's all like friends.
Yes.
No Elma's all friends.
It's the Scooby Gang, but it drove by it. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, God.
Speaking of Scooby-Doo, the best series of Scooby-Doo is on Netflix, and everybody should watch it. Everybody stand Mystery Incorporated for Clear Skin. Best series of Scooby-Doo. Anyway.
I believe you, B, because you're a Scooby-Doo enthusiast, and I believe you on everything that's Scooby-Doo related.
Thank you. Do you believe me on the fact that they're actually like Babylonian
so
demigods?
Earnest.
I truly am being 100% serious.
You're like, you know what, B? I think you found your calling.
My calling is Scooby-Doo.
And I support you.
I'm being 100% serious. Whenever I see anything Scooby-Doo related, I just send it to B.
You want to talk about not Scooby-Doo and instead the Vampire Diaries? Because we still have a little bit here about this episode.
Yes.
So Bonnie disables, and I'm putting that in air quotes, the mystical device by making some candles glow real bright, and the fire in the background just kind of pop up. And then the lighting department apparently goes wild. And that's magic. That's just it.
The fact that they believe, like, I get it, because they have no point of reference for knowing what that would look like, but also they're so, like, I don't know. It's just like, y'all are really dumb for thinking that Bonnie would just do that.
I know. They're like, oh man, Bonnie really hated Stefan and Damon for kind of inadvertently killing her grandma like a few minutes ago, but now she's agreed to help us.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all?
Are y'all thinking up there? Is anything going on up there?
No thoughts. Head empty. Fucking then they go to do the fun meat swap where they're just like, I'll bring Damon and Stefan as backup, and then Isabel's gonna bring her gay cowboy and the jazz singer, and then we're all gonna have a dance off like it's West Side Story, Sharks versus Jets, and Isabel's gonna get what she wants, and everybody's like, oh, we pulled one over on her. No, you didn't, motherfucker.
You fucking didn't. You did not. You actually just...
That's pretty much
played into her head
for this episode.
Yeah.
They really did. So... Hey, I also had one last note before we leave this episode.
But also,
oh God, there's more.
But there's like one big thing that happens at the end. You find out that John is her dad. John is Elena's dad.
I kind of zone out whenever John's on my screen.
Yeah, makes sense.
Which is sad because Anders is fun to watch.
He plays a great unlikable character.
Yeah, I will. Yep. He does a great job. But there's like a phone call that happens.
Sucks.
And then, because it's kind of like hinted at, and then there's a phone call that happens, and then he's like, oh, like he's talking to Isabel, and she's like, oh, we don't want that for our daughter, and she's like, yeah, we don't, and then like it like ends, and you're like, what the fuck? Like that's her dad? What the fuck?
But also, you could kind of see it because she and he have the same like annoying conversational habits.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
Honestly, though, like, you know I'm right. The last note I have for this episode is Damon drinks whiskey, like, right near the end, like he always does. And he drinks so often, like, how bad do you think his breath smells at any given moment?
You also have to think about how bad his liver... Actually, no, you don't, because he's dead.
Yeah, like, he drinks whiskey and blood, and that's it.
Yeah.
Does he brush his teeth? He doesn't seem like the kind of white boy to brush his teeth.
Yeah, he doesn't.
I wouldn't believe he does.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, that's a fake fact about Damon Salvatore, is that he brushes his teeth. That's incorrect. He doesn't.
He does not.
That's Isabel. Buck Wild episode.
Truly.
And then it gets wilder.
Yeah, it gets crazier. It gets really fucking wild. Can I just say...
poorly paced plot twists.
Yes. Can I just say, in like, let's see, like in the last like episode, I used caps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. No, 7 times. I used caps locks. Just all caps
a lot of caps locks.
That just shows you how wild this episode is.
Also, your notes are just like name, no, and that's it.
Yeah, I know what happened. I love
being able to look at your notes.
I know what happened.
To fucking roast you for him.
Yeah, literally one of my notes is like, name, no. Oh, no. Same name. I love you.
That's it. So let's talk about episode 22, Founders Day. Yep, that dramatic size it. The description is, Damon and Alaric try to stop John Gilbert from setting a plan in motion to bring Founders Day to an end amid chaos, destruction, and death. And I will say, this bothers me a lot. The Netflix description didn't use the Oxford comma, so I did add it in on our doc. And I do just want to make that known, because if you don't use an Oxford comma, you're a fucking scrub. Why do they only say John Gilbert's name? Like, full name. You realize that? Every time he's in the episode descriptions, they're like, John Gilbert, but everybody else is like Damon or Rick.
You know why they do that?
Everybody else is a cool dad except for John Gilbert.
They do that. It's because John's name is too boring for the TVD, so they have to add the Gilbert in to make it like a little more exciting.
It's too white. It's not as white as Alaric or Damon.
Yeah.
Which I love. Okay, so there's floats and a parade, and kids aren't going to school still, which I am still confused about. And the fucking Miss Mystic Falls float. We're just gonna kind of skip to, like, the Mystic Falls float, because the ladies in the Miss Mystic Falls pageant, all looking fresh, fancy and fine. The men are in suits, and they get credit because they're like there, I guess.
Yeah. Again, as we've seen over and over in this show since day one, women doing double the work that men do and getting equal praise for it.
And okay, so we're just gonna kind of skip, because like the first 10 minutes of this episode, it feels like nothing happens.
Yeah.
It's so boring. And then the next 10 minutes of this episode are like okay at best, because you get John and the mayor going against Sheriff Forbes to do like their dumbass plan, which great work, boys. Love how that turned out for you. The tomb vampires are planning a heist, and they finally get an update in fashion, but also it comes at the cost of doing a heist to murder people.
Yeah.
So, pros, cons. That's like the first 20 minutes of the episode. I can't think of anything else good that happens in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's just it.
Yeah, you're right. I agree.
I don't know why this episode is paced this way. I mean, I know why it's paced this way, but it feels wrong. So, the last 20 minutes of this episode are Founders Day celebration, because Mystic Falls. And wait, did Brian tell us that this was like all within the span of like 5 weeks or something?
Oh yeah, like a semester, I think
it was later, or like half that time. I think
half of a semester. Wild.
I think Brian said it was like 4 weeks, which in that case makes this all more fucking wild, because how many events can one town fit in this many days?
Yeah, they've had.
Do they not have personal time for themselves?
They've had like 3 parties connecting to the Founders Council or whatever, and now they're having this stupid reenactment of this battle and this float thingy, and just like, why is this happening? What hellscape are we where this happens all the time? Like,
And God, so we alluded to this earlier, but Bonnie didn't actually deactivate the device that Jonathan Gilbert made, in air quotes again, made. She just like let it be. She apparently just like lit some candles, and everybody was like, wow, magic, which I get it. The main part of this finale is that Bonnie didn't turn off the device. John Gilbert turns it on, and then every vampire in Mystic Falls is like, what the fuck, bro? It's like a vampire dog whistle.
Yeah. Not only vampires, by the way.
Nope. Also Tyler Lockwoods.
Also the Lockwoods, which, hey, what's up with that, y'all?
I wonder
no idea.
I can't imagine what would cause this. If we ignore all the moon imagery, I wonder what caused this.
Interesting.
They just drove by a can of vampire LaCroix.
And now they're just faintly vampires. They're vampire flavored. It's fine.
They're the newest vampire LaCroix.
So let's see. Damon, Anna, and a bunch of other vampires get tossed down into the basement of Elena's old family practice. Stefan manages to make it kind of out with the help of Alaric.
Out of like being thrown into the cellar. Yes.
Yeah. He avoided vampire jail so closely.
Yeah.
And then the citizens of Mystic Falls try a technique that has failed them once before. They're like, let's just lock him in a basement and set it on fire. Hey, y'all, that didn't work out last time.
And the thing is, right, like, John mentions, like, how, like, I don't know, someone mentions about, like, the past and, like, referencing to the past and how, like, we thought it was over then, so, like, we have to, like, kill it now, right? And so I'm over here, like, do y'all not see the like, the connection between you referencing the past and how it didn't work before, but you still trying the same thing and hoping it works out?
He's trying his best. He also sounds like he thinks every vampire in the world is in Mystic Falls.
Yeah, exactly.
And which, like, I get small towns can do that to you, but hey, John, there are other vampires. Other flavors of vampire LaCroix are available. And I do want that to be known.
Yeah.
So, he ends up he takes special time to kill Anna, which I think is incredibly cruel.
I hated that. I was like, this is the worst situation for me. I hate it here. Why'd you guys have to kill Anna? The person I was like, here is my, like, Anna, even though sometimes she was confusing, I loved her. And then you guys just killed her? Like, it pains me. Like, they put Jeremy through that once again. It's just, why?
Jeremy also goes through another smaller ringer within this larger ringer that he is going through.
Oh, yeah.
He's like in a tiny washing machine.
I feel like the only person who just wants Jeremy to go through ringers.
Really?
I'm always just like, you're such a weird Linty boy. Like,
he's such a weird lint man.
I'm always just like, okay, we get it.
We get
you're
it.
Linty, you're sad. You haven't showered in a few days. Like,
you have arms that are just fucking massive for some reason.
Like, I feel like he doesn't know how to do his own laundry, and
you're right about that one.
I think maybe if he just stayed home and, like, worked on himself a little more, he'd be fine. But
he's also 15.
Yeah, he is only. But also, I knew how to do my laundry 15. At like 11.
CW teenagers and real teenagers aren't the same thing.
True, but he's 15, and he's going through the ultimate ringer here.
Honestly, it just is cruel and unnecessary, and I'd like to send my lawyers to whoever decided to put that in the episode, because it really pained me how they made me root for Anna and Jeremy and then just killed her in the next episode.
Yeah, I mean, Anna is great.
She's fucking phenomenal.
Rest in peace.
Oh my gosh, I miss her so much.
I'm actually tearing up right now. I am crying.
Yeah, I am crying. I'm like, she was such like she was like a good character, but also like she was very confusing character, but also like in a good way. I don't know how to explain it.
No, she's a good complex character.
Yeah.
She also, we should mention, she gave Jeremy a vial of her blood before this because they were planning on running away together, which just makes this all the more tragic.
It's like, yeah, really, they could have gotten away and you just killed her?
I'm sad.
I'm sad.
But what's new? So all the vampires are in the basement of the Gilbert Medical Practice and Mayor Lockwood. Mm-hmm. Mayor Lockwood's like, why the fuck am I here? What happened? And then he tries to, like, scamper away from Damon, and he just ends up, like, in the lap of another vampire, which is so comedic. It's in such a sad way.
Yeah.
He's, like, scampering, and then he scampers into the arms of another man, and I'm sorry, but you are gonna die now. Yeah. And then he does.
Yeah.
And then the whole place gets set on fire.
Yeah.
And then shit really starts to go down. Bonnie stops the fire for long enough that Stefan can get Damon out and nobody else. So if the Founders Council wanted to thin the herd, they did that.
Yeah.
They've succeeded in thinning the herd. But also, goddamn, Bonnie, just those two?
Really? You couldn't have gotten
just those two?
You couldn't have gotten anyone else out? Just them.
Damon's the one you're saving?
It's just when Stefan, here's my complete opinion. When Stefan went in there, she should have just been like, well, you dug your grave and now you have to lay in it. And that's on you, not on me.
You dug your grave for the third time.
Exactly.
You're a vampire.
This is the third time Stefan has gone to save, like, Damon. It's just like, you just let him die. Just let him. I don't care that he's your. Just let him die. And he didn't. It was just bad. So that's on him. Bonnie should have been like, "That's on you." Period.
That's your fault, my man. You did this to yourself. So, okay. Once this town square fiasco has been handled, Elena goes to the school to get her stuff, and then she's gonna go meet Jeremy at home, and then she's gonna go meet Caroline at the hospital, which we should mention. Tyler Lockwood was also affected by the vampire dog whistle. He crashed a car that had Matt and Caroline in it. So, there's that subplot where Tyler crashed the car. Caroline's now in the hospital with internal bleeding.
Yeah. It's very devastating. I hate it.
It's wild too, because Caroline's like, go help Tyler. He needs your help right now. And then Tyler wakes up, and then you look in the background, and Caroline's just on the ground, passed the fuck out.
Yeah. I feel like in my head, I was like, there's like some correlation between the two. Does that sound right?
Correlation is a word. You're correct.
Okay.
So there is probably a correlation between Caroline trying to become more selfless, and then she may literally die because of it.
No, not even that. I was thinking about like Matt getting up and Caroline getting down, but like right before he like gets up, like you see his eyes, and they're like doing this weird
golden thing, like Tyler's eyes are gold or whatever, and they really freak out the paramedic. Which,
and then
like,
he wakes up, and then Caroline goes down. So like not only like a metaphoric correlation, but like an actual like literal correlation between the two.
Can you imagine being that paramedic on duty that night? Can you just imagine looking in this fucking teenager who crashed his car's eyes, and they're like golden? Like, that'd be the same as looking at, like, lifting up Ian's face mask and seeing lizard eyes. And you're just like, oh, shit. The pain that must have gone through, the absolute, like, what the fuck is going on that must have been going through that poor paramedic's head.
How
right
often
there.
Do you think a paramedic shows up to a crime scene where a vampire's been involved and is like, what the fuck is going on?
Just what the fuck, y'all? What the fuck?
Like I want to know... I have an idea for a spin-off show. It's like Grey's Anatomy, except for the people of Mystic Falls, and they just get like these weird ass like supernatural like people coming in, and they're like, what the fuck is going on? And that's like, they're just like, because it doesn't make sense that Mystic Falls paramedics would be like aware of what's going on, just because Mystic Falls like residents just seem stupid in general, you know, in comparison to the rest of the world. So I just want to show where they're just always like, what the fuck is going on? And then it's also like a Grey's Anatomy where like they're like trying to solve like issues, but like supernatural paramedic issues, if that makes sense. That's what
Jordan, do you want me to blow your fucking mind right now?
That show already exists.
No, I was gonna say that the Vampire Diaries does turn into that show for a while.
Oh.
Hey, Jordan, you know how I said that we had a long road ahead of us?
Yeah.
We have a long road, and it takes some motherfucking turns.
Oh my god. I mean,
there's a like firm left turn when Elena goes to college and becomes a doctor, and also like all the other doctors are like, yo, why is this blood missing? And Elena, a known vampire fucker, is like, I don't know.
Oh
like
a known vampire fucker. Same.
like, hey Elena, you do know. So I am just gonna say this show does turn into that show for a little bit.
Insane, but
it also turns into like
surprised.
7 other shows.
Not surprised at all. How else would they have this show going on for how many seasons? 8 seasons? 9 seasons?
8 seasons for TVD, 5 for the originals, and 3+ for legacies.
How else would they be doing that if they were not completely changing the entire structure of the show in the middle?
Like, hey guys, welcome to Mystic Falls Anatomy. Okay. So after all that happens, Elena goes to the school to get her stuff, and then she's gonna go home, and then she's gonna go to Caroline in the hospital. So, showing up first at the Gilbert residence is Damon.
Ugh.
And I know. I know.
Can I just say,
does some...
that entire scene, I did not watch it. I skipped to the next scene.
He does some fake honorable bullshit where he's like, hey, Jeremy, I'll take your memories away again, I guess, because it's the Vampire Diaries, and that's what we do. Let's just take your memories away. Go wild, kids. So he does some fake honorable bullshit, and Jeremy's like, no, go fuck yourself. And so he leaves the house. On the porch, he meets Elena. Who... they have this conversation where, again, Damon's trying to do some fake honorable bullshit. I get it. And then I think the thing that made my skin crawl the worst is they kiss.
Yeah. That's the part I skipped. I was like, I'm not watching this. Goodbye.
So
next scene.
Elena kisses Damon on the porch of her house, gets caught by Aunt Jenna, and Aunt Jenna's like, hey, get the fuck inside. Like, fuck off.
I'm Jenna.
I am also Jenna.
Tag yourself. Why the fuck are you making out with a gajillion 100-year-old man on the porch?
Also, your boyfriend's brother. She doesn't even know he's a gajillion years old. She's just like,
listen,
that's Stefan's older brother.
Listen, whatever. You do you, Elena, but like, gross.
It's just... makes my insides crawl, honestly.
Then we see, like, Elena's in the house, like, making some food or whatever, and John comes up and he's like, hey, do you want to talk about what happened tonight? She's like, actually, no.
And then the most wildest shit goes down.
So then there's a shot where it just focuses on John's hand where he has that ring.
That was so gory.
And Elena's just like... takes a knife and like, just cuts off his fingers just right then and there.
And you're just like, John, what the fuck?
John is rightly so. What the fuck? And then he looks up and he's like, Catherine. And she's like, hello, John. Goodbye, John.
And then you're like,
and that's it.
And then you're like, what the fuck is going on?
And then you see, and then it cuts to Jeremy, who... trigger warning for suicide, just skip a few minutes if you don't want to hear this. Jeremy drinks Anna's blood and then takes a bunch of sleeping pills. So he's doing that. And then it cuts to the front porch of the house again, where Elena is walking up the porch, like, talking to Stefan on the phone, like, yeah somebody stole my shit from school. Yeah. And
which honestly, thank God that was actually Catherine kissing Damon, because the other scenario,
awful. But
horrible.
Also gonna happen eventually. We do need to start preparing ourselves for that. So that's the end of the season.
No, and then she walks in, and she's like, "Here's something."
Right,
going
that's when she goes to find what's his butt.
And then that's where it ends.
Because like next season, isn't there like a finger involved or something, or do I just have PTSD?
There's probably a finger involved, unfortunately, because she did cut off his hand. So there probably is.
Okay. I didn't dream that. That's real.
So she goes up to look for Jeremy, and then she hears something in the kitchen, and she walks back, and that's where the season ends. And that's it, folks. No answers.
Can I just say, I watched that, and I was like, I want to watch the next episode so badly, but I won't.
I know, I hate that it works.
But I won't. For the sanctity of this podcast, I will not be watching the next episode.
We are walking on holy ground. We watch these episodes 2 at a time. But that's the fucking finale.
That's wild.
That's it.
Here's one thing: Vampire Diaries, they be doing crazy ass shit, but they do know.
That's just it.
They know how to end a season so that you will come back for the next one.
Yeah, that's why all of my memories of early TVD are kind of like mushed together, because I watched them in like 3 weeks while on a depression binge on Netflix. So I never got like a season finale or anything. I was like, oh, this is just fucking weird. Okay, next, like. Fucking wild. So now we have to do the tough job, and our jobs are so hard right now. We have to rank these episodes. We have to boil everything down, a scale of 1 to 10. What the fuck do we rank them? Layne, you're our guest. You get to go first.
Okay.
So what are we ranking? Scale of 1 to 10. The episode Isabel. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, 5 being okay.
Which episode? The
Isabel,
the episode 21, the first one.
6.
Going real low. Fuck yeah, dude.
I just don't feel like much. It was like I like a really chaotic penultimate episode, and I didn't feel like it was a really chaotic panel. Like I really like a penultimate episode that like runs up to the finale, and I feel like they lingered. Okay, I'm gonna give a terrible criticism that I feel like you guys are gonna hate.
Okay.
Isabel, fun, useless to us.
Did not need to be there.
It's just they spend so much of that episode being like, this evil woman, and I'm like, I mean, yeah, but we don't care, and she's not someone we care about, and why did you bring this character in right now?
Yeah.
She was really there just to cause Rick pain, and that was it.
Yeah, that was her main role.
And as far as the list of characters I care about, Rick is
pretty far down
on it. La la la. Anyway, no. So that was like that episode for me. I was like, you're spending a lot of time with characters that like we don't have feelings about. I'd rather see like the characters who are going to be emotionally impacted in the finale have like a bigger ramp up to that, and they didn't do that.
I think
they really did just kind of take a leisurely stroll up to the finale.
Yeah, I think you said last episode, B, that the episode previous to this was like the best episode. And like I like agree with you. Like I feel like that last episode would have been a better penultimate than this one.
Yeah, it feels like they like it feels like they put all of the episodes in like a pile. They put them all in a deck of cards, and then they shuffle them around, and then they ended up with Blood Brothers leading into Isabel, which leads into Founders Day.
Yeah.
That's wrong. Isabel should lead up into Blood Brothers, which should lead up into Founders Day.
Yeah. And like,
hear me out. Surgically remove Isabel.
Also that too. Because like nothing
happens.
Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Bonnie did the bad thing of not doing the device.
Yeah.
Damon proved he could name a book. That's it.
But here's the thing. And nothing happened emotionally. There is no emotional journey in that episode.
I mean, it feels like they're trying to take Elena on an emotional journey of like meeting really your birth mother. She's a bitch.
But they don't.
She doesn't. She doesn't really give a shit.
They didn't. I think. I feel like, especially because of like throughout the entire season, Elena is dealing a lot with the death of her parents, and like it is like an important part of like the first half of the season. I feel like it would have been really nice for them to explore it a lot in this episode, especially after she like found out she's adopted and like
she has new parents.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like
they really could have like done something, and it just felt like, you know what? It was sort of like the LaCroix of emotional episodes. It drove past a truck of Elena's emotion.
Yeah. You're not wrong. You're correct.
So Jordan, with that in mind, what are you ranking this bad boy?
Yeah, I
feel like I poisoned the well. Sorry.
I think the well was already poisoned. Yeah. It's the Vampire Diaries.
Yeah, I think that that episode 21, I felt similarly. I felt like things weren't going on, and I was kind of bored. Like the plot twist of like John being her father didn't really mean, like, it's insane that's her father, because that's literally the brother. That's like her uncle.
That's
right?
her adopted father's brother.
Exactly.
But I also feel like
weird.
It's insane, but it's weirdly not shocking. Yeah, like as soon as he's there, you're like, yup, it's gonna be this guy.
Yeah, like I was like, it's like insane, but also like not like insane to a point. I'm like, oh, that's like a good way to end the episode.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, there's just like a lot of stuff that just doesn't happen. Like it's very like not important episode to me.
So what are you ranking it? Give it a number.
I think I'm gonna give it a 5.
You're gonna give it 5? Okay.
Yeah.
Because some background. I had a really bad breakdown yesterday, and at the very end, after I watched a lot of Lesbian Robin Hood from Once Upon a Time, I was like, oh shit, I need to watch these episodes for the finale. So I watched this episode while like curled up in my bed with like my heated blanket on and like some cocoa, and I feel like my emotional breakdown was more interesting than this episode. So
Sorry, there's some really loud shit happening in my
That's fine. The wild
complex.
dogs are probably going to start barking across my street any moment now, so we're so fine.
I think my neighbor is dragging his recycling bins down the driveway.
That's valid. I am going to give this episode a 3. I'm giving it a 3. I really could not
I was
give less
being
of a
kind
shit.
with my 6 because I didn't know how you guys did things, but
Oh no, we rate these episodes.
Do not be kind.
All right, great.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, 3 is my lowest ranking.
And I'll go more like 4 or 5 if it's allowed.
Yeah, the most definitely allowed.
Do you want to change your ranking?
I do.
All right.
Okay,
I would like to second your 4 because I also thought it was like truly
4. Okay.
There was really nothing going on.
That makes this pretty much across the board our lowest ranked episode.
Yeah.
I know Brian's not here, and I do contractually have to say, some good moments. As Brian would say, some moments. But overall it was garbage, and my emotional breakdown was much more interesting. Layne, what are you ranking this finale episode?
The finale, I would say I'm going to go with 7.
Okay.
I didn't particularly have a super exciting time this time around, but I can remember back in the heyday of Vampire Diaries when all of these reveals were actually meaningful to me and not information I already had.
Yeah, watching this episode live must have been fucking wild.
Yeah, because I remember things like you being worried about Caroline and what was happening with Tyler and the mayor dying, and even the Elena Bonnie stuff is really interesting to me. It's stuff that I saw now and I was like, yeah, this again. But in thinking about it, I was like, all this stuff was pretty. Even Damon and Elena kissing was as much as I think it's a tropey stupid thing to be and then she kisses another man. It's that was jaw on the floor shit. So I think as far as finales go, they definitely were this and this and this.
Yeah.
Is a little schmuck baby, sure. And again, I think lacks some significant emotional stuff. But it was at the very least exciting.
Yeah.
They had one emotion and it was shock.
Yeah.
And then a secondary emotion, and awe.
Yeah, I think I'm also gonna give it a 7.
Okay, love it.
Yeah, I had a similar feeling. I think the main reason I'm giving it a 7 is because as a person who's never watched the show before, and this is my first time watching this, the ending was especially the whole not knowing what happens to Elena felt very oh my gosh, I'm so afraid for her. I don't know what's going on. And the loss.
If I didn't know that Nina Dobrev signed a contract in blood, I would be oh shit, is she dying?
Yeah. And we lost a character I really liked, Anna, which was heartbreaking, but and I also did not see it coming. I thought she was gonna make it out of there, but that did not happen.
Yeah. You have to give them a little bit of credit too, because that the idea of dog whistle that takes out all the supernatural people in the town is such a good way to wreak havoc in terms of they immediately took the bait of okay, so who falls down that you're surprised. And I think that's a really good setup.
The fact that Tyler kind of fell down, it feels like such a good culmination of all the moon bullshit they've been giving us with him. And I love that. I just love where he's having a breakdown in the car because he hears this dog whistle. Which is a little mean for us to say that Tyler hears a dog whistle, but they all hear a dog whistle. It's just wild.
Yeah.
And then, but the reason why I'm not giving it an 8 or a 9 is just the beginning was really boring and nothing happened. And
it felt so strangely paced where the last 20 minutes were buck wild. And the first 20 minutes I was I'm bored now.
Yeah. So so that's why it doesn't get a close to God tier level. It gets a merely good episode ranking, which is a 7 for me.
I think I might complete the trifecta. I might also give it a 7. Cause it's a 7.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it other than it's a 7.
Yeah.
So wow, looking at these now, we don't have Brian's complete rankings because he doesn't like to be on his own podcast. But I think Blood Brothers might overall be our highest ranked episode from this season. Right under, I mean, History Repeating was also 9s across the board. I actually ranked this season pretty highly, which I didn't think I would. I only gave 4 rankings that are under 5. And I honestly expected I would be a lot more mean about it. But yeah, damn. We'll post our full like rankings and some fun stats from this season on our Twitter at AfterBitePod. So look forward to that. Now, Layne Morgan, I'm gonna torture you a little bit.
Dope.
So I'm going to give you, in what I am going to call the season 1 finale extravaganza fun time quiz, 10 poorly worded plot points from future TVD episodes. 5 of them are real things that happened on TVD, and 5 of them are fake bullshit I made up. So, I'm going to send you the picture in Twitter DMs really quick, just so in case you forget them, you know what they are. But I'm also going to read them out now, so Jordan can laugh with me. Mm-hmm. There we go. Yeah, I don't have any notifications. Okay, there we go. Perfect. So, 10 poorly worded plot points from future TVD episodes. 5 of them are true, 5 of them are false. And they're all from they're from season 2 onwards. So none of these happened in season 1. It's all season 2 through 8. Number 1 is, I think, my favorite one. The gay twin becomes a sugar baby. Number 2, a flamboyant British man does an incredible amount of crimes. Number 3, a pit of goop is the main antagonist.
No way.
Number 4, Jeremy boinks a ghost. Number 5, Bonnie gets the heebie-jeebies because of a crossword puzzle. Number 6, a tragic end befalls gay Thelma and Louise. Number 7, Damon dips out on his best friend.
Not surprising.
Number 8, the Gemini Coven play a game of womb roulette.
Oh, okay.
Number 9, Stefan gets frostbite. And number 10, a well-dressed man uses spare change to cause chaos. Jordan, you can also guess which 5 of these actually happen as well.
Okay. Do you want Layne to go first and then me, or together?
Here's the thing. I feel like Layne knows more than you do, so let's just knock yours out first.
What if we just work together?
Okay, sure. Group project. Let's go.
Because here's the thing. I know the Gemini Coven plays a game of womb roulette really happens.
Yeah, I know also know that's true.
I know that a pit of goop is the main antagonist also really happens.
Okay.
And a tragic end befalls gay Thelma and Louise I also know really happens. Because it happened the same week Lexa died on the 100th.
It was a bad week.
So that means that only 2 more of these are real.
Okay.
So my guess is, and I'm just going to shoot in the dark here, Bonnie gets the heebie-jeebies from a crossword puzzle, and the gay twin becomes a sugar baby.
Okay. Jordan, what do you guess? And what are your 2 extra ones besides those 3 that definitely do happen?
A well-dressed man uses spare change to cause chaos.
Love that one. Okay, and?
Jeremy boinks a ghost.
Okay. See, I love these because actually all of these are true things that happen, just worded very poorly.
Okay, that was my problem because I was like, I'm pretty sure a lot of these are real. And I was like, I'm going to go with the ones that I know are real, and I guess the other ones are just not. But if you had told me that was an option, I would have had it.
Oh my god, all of these happen?
All of them absolutely happen.
Yes. Because I remembered the spare change thing. Stefan getting frostbite checks out to me.
Stefan getting frostbite just sounds like
Jeremy blanking a ghost checks out to me. The gay twin becoming a sugar baby I knew was real because you guys both reacted to it.
Yeah.
Flamboyant British man does an incredible amount of crimes obviously happens because that's the plot of the Vampire Diaries.
Okay.
And then Bonnie gave the heebie-jeebies because of a crossword puzzle I've seen before. Anyway, that is all I have to say.
Oh my god.
I was forced to decide because I was like, these all for sure. I was like trying to figure out which ones didn't happen.
But also,
the thing I
what
love
the
about
fuck?
Yeah. Don't worry, I get you. I literally went to the TVD wiki and I picked out random episodes from different seasons, and I was like, how do I minimize these in the worst way possible?
Jeremy fucks a ghost?
Excuse me, Jeremy boinks a ghost.
Sorry, different term.
We're not vulgar on this show.
Yeah, definitely.
Watch your fucking mouth. He boinks a ghost.
Sorry, Jeremy boinks a ghost.
On the nose.
Just real sweet, like, just boink.
Boink.
So, Jordan, this is your first time hearing some of these future plot points, even if they are worded poorly. What do you think? I just want to know. What you think?
What the state of this show is gonna become?
Yeah, give us your state of the Afterbite event. Just like give us a whole speech. State of the bite. Let's go.
All right. Here's how I feel. The fact that all of these things happened, it's to me it feels like it's like so hilarious. It's like this show should be a comedy, not a drama.
This show should absolutely be a comedy.
If all of these, you're saying all of these things happen, that is insane to me, and it feels like it's like bad in like a good way, but also I also know it's like this show can be bad in a bad way. So like I just don't know how to process all of this. Like the fact that actually that makes sense. The fact that a pit of goop is the main antagonist.
Julie Plec really loves her like viscous fluids.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah. Like it's insane. Like it's so
I mean, VFX budget when the pit of goop is an antagonist is not high, so
exactly. You're like, here he is. Goop.
The fact that all these things are allowed to exist on this show just like screams like we're on a supernatural show and we need to come up with something for this season to be interesting.
We're on a CW show. What's up, gays?
Can I just talk about really quickly how almost all of the CW shows that are not DC related are supernatural shows?
Yeah, they really like their genre shows.
So they're just like, we solely create superhero shows and supernatural shows. That's what we specialize.
Listen, it's been working for them for years. And since no one will do what I want and bring back the era of the small town teen drama, here we are.
Yeah.
Layne, bring it back for us, please.
I just want to, like, here's the thing. And, like, the TV industry loves to be like, what's your very unique pilot concept? And I'm like, what if instead of my very unique pilot concept was just kids in a high school small town?
Honestly,
that's it.
Like small town high school, like Degrassi.
Oh, I miss Degrassi.
Oh my god,
so
One Tree Hill. The plot of One Tree Hill was two brothers on the same basketball team.
I love One Tree Hill too.
Like, are you kidding me? But it was fantastic. The plot of Dawson's Creek was like a man named Dawson who lived near a creek. Like,
y'all, that was like some good TV. Like they need to go back.
I know.
There. Like,
so I'm just like, I just want to write teen soaps again, and not like over. Like I love Riverdale, but not that.
Degrassi.
I want like Riverdale. Yeah, I want like grounded teen soaps.
Like, I cannot talk about how much I love Degrassi so much.
So hey, ladies.
Yes.
Layne, I know you didn't see the entire season with us, but you watched enough, I think. From the beginning of the season to the end. How do y'all feel like it went? Like, I feel like we need to talk about this season as a whole, because it's kind of buck wild when you think about it. You're like, okay, Elena's parents died, she gets new parents, those parents are also assholes, and also one of them gets his hand cut off, and that's like in 10 minutes of airtime total.
Here's the thing. Buck wild, yes. But I do think that season 1 of The Vampire Diaries was like one of its best seasons in that it so clearly knew what it was and what it wanted to do. And it told that story, and then it ended the season in such a way that said, okay, now that we've told this story, here's how it gets a lot bigger going forward. And I think that was really successful, and also the music was really good.
Yeah, I agree with like it knowing what it was and what it wanted to do in the beginning, especially with the first couple of episodes where it was all about discovering who these vampires were through like Elena's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Do I think they could have done a lot better with 16 episodes instead of 22?
Yes.
Yeah, because
it could have been a tight 16 season. That would have been a great season.
Yeah, some episodes felt like they were pointless, and why were they here? But overall, I feel like another point that you brought up of it, like trying to expand its world now, like via like by the end of season 1, there's like more stuff to discover. I think they did that very well, especially because like we were talking about before. I don't know if we were recording this then, but with like shows like Pretty Little Liars and Once Upon a Time, it kind of feels like they like got trapped in a bubble of like being like their like genre show, and then like not evolving past that and not like trying to expand the world beyond what they had. And I think the Vampire does that. The Vampire Diaries, at least right now, is trying to expand and trying to bring in new ideas and concepts that aren't just like the same old tired plot over and over again.
It's a little wild to me. They did a good job of like place building this season, if that makes sense. You get a feel for Mystic Falls, especially since it feels so kind of claustrophobic with all of the Founders events and everything. Like, you get a good feeling for Mystic Falls and you like it. I mean, kind of. You like it. Air quotes there. But
I was having that thought too, in terms of they also build the Scooby Gang. Like they give you first it's Elena and Elena's orbit, and then by the end they're like, oh, and maybe it's also Tyler and Caroline and Bonnie, and like they sort of they almost activate everyone by the like
they're all robots.
Listen, that's like literally what we used to call it in one of the writers' room I worked in. It's like, how is this gonna like activate that person's story? And that's like essentially what they do by the end.
And you also feel like even if they're not fully activated yet, which I love that term, you can feel like with Caroline, she's on the verge of like some shit happening to her. Like some shit has happened and more shit will happen. So it is a little wild to me, like the way that they made you give a shit about a very small group of characters at first, and now you're like, okay, there's like 10 people on this show that I like and I give a shit about, and they're all in Mystic Falls, so I guess I'll also like and give a shit about Mystic Falls and everything. And then they're like, by the way, there are 2 of them now.
And I think another thing that they do really well is that they handle their ensemble cast really well, where they're like trying to put people together that you wouldn't necessarily think goes together well, and like are like trying to see what comes about putting these characters all in the same space. Like first you have like the triangle of Elena, Bonnie, and Caroline, and then Elena, Stefan, and Matt, right? And those are like kind of like 2 big triangles. You also have like Tyler, Jeremy, and Vicky, right? And their own little separate bubble. And then
by the end Julie Plec just fucking loves geometry.
And by the end you have this whole thing with Damon, Stefan, and Elena, but then you also have Catherine involved, so she somehow like makes that like a square. And then you also have the whole thing with you have Tyler, Caroline, and Matt, right? And like they're dealing with their own shit. Then you still have Bonnie, Caroline, and Elena. You have Bonnie, Stefan, and Elena. Like there's like all these like different matchings that they do throughout the entire season, which I think is really well done. And it really does like bring out characteristic traits in certain characters that you're like, oh, I never saw you in that way, but now that you're like with this person, I can see you in kind of like a different light.
Valid. Very valid. So, ladies, predictions for season 2. What do we think's gonna happen?
What the how I cannot tell what the show is gonna happen next.
What do we think? Shot in the dark, just blindfolded, throwing a dart at a board.
All right.
What do you think's gonna happen?
So we know that Catherine is back. So like,
true.
My main guess is obviously she's gonna cause some BS to happen. Like maybe she'll turn someone
impersonate
else.
Elena more.
Yeah, she'll probably will impersonate Elena more. We got Damon is gonna go on a wild one, like just gonna go through it because like he thinks he's with Elena, so like sometimes he's gonna be interacting with Elena as if they have this like secret going on. But then other times she's gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about? That'll be interesting. I do think the triangle between Elena, Stefan, and Damon is gonna be way more, and it's gonna be the worst.
The worst,
most definitely. It's gonna be amplified next season, and I'm not excited for it. Yeah, and then there's like there's Matt and Caroline, and I'm just like, I don't see where that's going. You know,
it's going in the trash.
Yeah, I see it going in the trash. It feels like I feel like they've like exhausted each other for like character's sake, you know, like character building. They've exhausted each other, and now it feels like, oh, this is kind of stale now.
Oh, what the fuck? Sorry, there's a snowstorm outside, and it just like made the branches like bash against my balcony, and I got fucking spooked.
Oh,
sorry, that was me. Sorry.
Oh no, it was also me. It was not great. Layne Morgan, what do you think's gonna happen on season 2 of The Vampire Diaries? In very vague terms.
I've already seen this show. I feel like I can't guess.
You can guess, because I'm also guessing, and I have seen this show. Just give me a vague guess. Give me a poorly worded plot point from season 2.
101 Dalmatians.
Alright.
Oh shit, that is a poorly worded plot point. I love it. I'm literally writing that down, and we'll come back to it later. You think I'm fucking kidding, but I'm not.
There's gonna be a lot more dogs. Like a lot more dogs.
A lot more dogs.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah.
It really took you a minute. It wasn't complex at all.
I get it now.
There's more dogs, and also less dogs. Also, if there was one dog in the show, it would be more dogs than they have had previously.
Also, if there was Cruella de Vil in this show, it would be Catherine.
Oh.
God, you're so right.
All right.
She would also make like a coat from puppy skin or some bullshit.
She would. Yeah. Yes, she would.
Yeah, you're correct.
Hey, guys. I think that's it. I think we did a season finale.
Yay.
We crushed it.
Woo, we crushed it. Hey, Layne Morgan, thanks for coming on the show and playing my dumb game.
Thank you for having me on the show and letting me play your dumb games.
Makes it sound like this is a fucking fucked up episode of like, oh, what's that movie? Saw?
That's what you told me it was going to be. That's why I'm here.
Okay, well, I'm sorry that I didn't have like some bucket connected to like a portcullis where
sorry,
you had to like
still
saw
have
off
all
your
your
own
limbs.
legs. Yeah, sorry you got to keep all of your limbs. If you want to, just like cut one off, I guess.
Honestly, even though we got to keep all of our limbs, some people didn't.
Not everyone. Rest in peace, John Gilbert.
Yeah.
Sorry, your name's John.
Sorry you got fucked up, John. You deserved it.
Yeah, most definitely.
Your name is John.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. I don't trust any motherfuckers named John.
Yeah, it's kind of questionable at best.
You're on thin fucking ice if you're white and your name is John. So that's it. That's our season 1 finale of Afterbite. Thank you to our guest, Layne Morgan.
Yay.
For roasting this show with us. And also for being like the LaCroix of... No, that doesn't sound insulting. I can't work it. I was gonna try. I'm like, it sounds like an insult either way.
Wait, did we ask the questions?
Did I ask the questions? Let me double check here. Because there weren't many. Let me see here. I might have worked them in.
You might have.
Give me a moment to pull up this motherfucking question. Where did my Twitter go? Hey, Twitter. Can you not fuck up right now? A bitch is trying to work. God, I wish I knew. Hey, Layne, where can our listeners find you on Twitter?
It's very difficult. First, you have to go outside in the rain under a full moon, meet a man in a yellow poncho. He will give you the treasure map.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I know that's shocking, but...
Well, you're not kidding. I already have my shoes on. Damn it.
I'm on all social medias as Layne Morgan. LayneMorgan.
You just have a name that's like fun to say, the full name. Hey, Layne, a few quick questions submitted by our what are they called? Listeners. There we go. I was just talking about this as an audio medium, and I was just like, I don't know what words are. few of our listeners submitted questions to our Curious Cat, which is, by the way, it's just Afterbite Pod on Curious Cat. Figure it out. You're savvy. You're on Twitter. You're listening to a podcast. You can do this. Hey, Layne Morgan. If you could take one character from the Vampire Diaries and put them into one of the shows you've worked on, who would you pick and what show? I feel like I've stumped you right off the bat.
No, you haven't. My brain wanted to put Legacy's characters onto my shows, but I'm trying to think of Vampire Diaries characters instead.
Put a TVD character on there. If you can't think of one, Legacies are also acceptable.
No, it's fine. I can do this. I guess I would love to put Bonnie on the 100.
Good choice.
Because like I just feel like she would have like so much shit wouldn't have happened, you know?
Yeah.
She could have really stopped.
Bonnie and Clark would have been like bros.
That's such a great duo. Name as well.
And also, I would have shipped the shit out of Bonnie and Bellamy.
Yeah.
Also valid. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
That's all I have.
That's all you got. That's
valid.
Well,
what I was gonna say is that it would fucking send me to see MG and Caleb on Daybreak.
I feel like that show really fits their aesthetic.
Yeah. Like my brain was aesthetically. This is what I need.
They're just very goofy.
Yeah.
They're so good. Hey, Layne Morgan.
Yeah.
I did a real good lean in there. This is a high quality audio production.
Yeah, you've definitely been practicing for most of this with doing that specific lean in.
That specific one where I just leaned back in my chair and then realized that if I wanted to talk, I probably had to come up and like to my microphone.
Yeah.
Thank you. You can tell my practice in this broken ass chair.
What's the question?
What's your favorite character on the Vampire Diaries?
Caroline.
And why?
I don't know, 'cause she's Caroline.
Valid.
No, I'm always a big fan of like
women.
I love. I always really like the it girl character, like almost always.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the like popular bitchy like Quinn Fabray version of that, but I also love that Caroline had like a really soft sort of scared version of that. Especially like in the beginning, and they made her sort of like sweet and kind and a little naive, and I thought that was kind of nice. And then to watch like her growth over the course of the show.
Mm-hmm. She's sweet and kind, and she also sticks her foot in her mouth all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
And I can really relate to that, because like, me too, bitch.
And I think she has like a really satisfying progression that she doesn't get like a lot of credit for.
She really does. She has the best like character arc, I think, on the Vampire Diaries specifically.
It reminds me weirdly of JJ on Criminal Minds, not in that they are the same journey, but in that like over the course of the whole show you watch like what the world does to someone.
Ooh, okay. I love that, actually. Ooh, I actually really fucking love that. Also, just fucking love Jennifer Drouot.
She's my main bitch.
Fucking love of my life.
Same. I have a t-shirt my friend got me for my birthday that says Mrs. Jennifer Drouot.
Hey, Layne Morgan, if you had to take one of your favorite characters from your childhood and put them into the Vampire Diaries universe, how would you and which one? There's a car just aggressively honking in the background. Love it.
Always. Glendale. From my childhood?
Yeah, just like a favorite. We'll expand it to like teenage-ish years, maybe.
Santana Lopez.
Okay. She'd be in TVD.
Because I just want her to tell people to fuck off.
Love that.
There's not enough people on TV that are like, you know what? This is just a lot of white boy bullshit. And I feel like I just want someone to say it.
Oh,
and she'd say it.
Honestly,
That would be amazing if Santana could be on that show and just be like, y'all are annoying.
Yeah, like I just want her to tell people to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, like
alternatively, Gordo from Lizzie McGuire just should be like Bonnie's weird sidekick witch friend.
Wait,
he's like always trying to make a documentary, and everyone's like, "Why are you here?
Please stop filming this. We're immortal beings. Somebody's gonna see this eventually."
Wait, can I also talk about the fact that in Lizzie McGuire, it's so absurd that they're in middle school for the entire show?
Listen,
don't
let the 90s live. Let the 90s live.
Let the 90s live. Wait, would Santana Lopez would she be a vampire, a witch, a human, and werewolf? Like, what are we talking about here?
I feel like she would just be a human who was constantly like, fuck this.
Fuck this shit.
I'm just trying to cheerlead. I'm just trying to be gay. I'm just trying to be a teenager, and this is fucking annoying.
She would like get on Caroline, Bonnie, and Elena's backs because now they've completely ditched the cheer squad.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's all the questions we have. Those were like some good questions though. Loved it. Yeah. Big fan.
Thank you, listeners, for submitting those questions.
Some of those were like good, deep ones. Loved it. Big fan. Anyway, that's it. We did a season finale episode.
Woo!
Yay!
We did it. This is the part where we tell you that we're going to be going on a break for a few weeks here because, bro, I need to purge my brain from this show sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
We will still be on Twitter, though, at Afterbite Pod. You'll have all the news on when we're coming back. It'll be pretty soon. It won't be a long break, I promise. And in general, just follow us on Twitter at Afterbite Pod. We have fun memes, and now we have a picture of Layne's face that's there. What else could you want?
We're gonna, I mean, I mainly will probably be trying to run the account during the break and like doing like polls and stuff like that, just to get you guys' opinions on season 1 of the podcast and season 1 of the show in general and how you guys felt about it.
Definitely ask them who their favorite guest star was.
Oh, yeah.
On your podcast.
I will make a poll. I'll make a poll, and I'll say, I'll put Brian because he's definitely, even though he's a co-host, he doesn't act like one, and I'll put Layne, and we'll see who wins.
Okay,
he's gonna win. I'm sure the people who listen to the show know who he is.
Well, he's been here twice. You're halfway there.
Yeah,
great.
You've been here almost as many times as Brian has been, so you're neck and neck.
Exactly, it's a tight race here. So, follow us on Twitter for all of those good things. We'll be back soon with more episodes of Afterbite. Remember, you can always watch along with us. We watch 2 episodes every week. And for every 2 episodes of The Vampire Diaries we watch, we do one of these episodes. That's how it works. I felt like just like describing it on the back end, because I feel like I got away from describing what this show is. And at its heart, this show is about roasting the Vampire Diaries. Because holy shit, y'all, some extremely questionable content. So talk with us on Twitter at AfterBitePod. We come out every Friday, except for the ones that we don't. You know how it works. I have a job. Sometimes shit sucks.
Sometimes life is hard.
You're so fucking right. Anyway, thanks, Layne, for joining us again.
Thank you.
And we'll see y'all next season.
Bye-bye.
And then this is the part here where we just kind of like fade out the music and our voices. So if you got any last minute jokes.
Oh, I could definitely make another joke about the LaCroix truck. I haven't done that in a while.
Okay, You got one more?
No.
Okay, that's valid.
I was basically like the LaCroix of guest stars, really. I didn't really say very much.
That's fine.
You just drove by talking to me.
We were heading down.
I only drove by watching these episodes.
Honestly, you're so fucking valid.
Yeah, I was about to say very valid indeed. Can I just say, if it was not for this podcast, I would not be watching this show.
Good.